gonna make him an offer again.
Of all the gin joints and all the towns and all the
Can't
world.
handle the truth. Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the
Frankly,
war.
my dear, I don't give a damn.
This is where the fun begins.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Movie Melee. We got an exciting one for you this evening in the singles division. We got Jake Maringoni making his return to singles after being gone since, I believe, 2021. It's been a while since we've seen him in singles, but he's been around in teams since 2022 with Mark, still playing at a very high level. So excited to see him make his return in singles, going up against a very tough competitor in Robert Castner, who has just recently been, like, in the past few years, has become, like, I think one of our top competitors in singles. So I believe these two have never faced each other in Melee singles before, so I'm excited to see how that goes. They both have the exact same record of 10-7. Well, I think they're, like, right next to each other in the rankings too, so it'll be interesting to see how it all goes about. I believe Jake said he wanted to go second for interviews, so I'm going to bring in the lower ranked competitor for this evening, Mr. Robert Castner. Robert, how you feeling?
I don't know what I did. I don't know what the karma was, how this got turned, that I get to be the first shot with Jake in 4 freaking years, but good for me, I guess. Jake is like, I don't know how to litigate this or legislate it, but Jake's like a top 5, top 6, wherever you want to throw that in there, Melee competitor of all time, especially if you justify how teams and singles comes together. I think there's no question. I would be happy to be, like, in the top 25 all time. I don't even know if that's fair for me. So yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out at one point. You want me to do a Melee article? I'll figure it out. But either way, it's annoying, and but I'll try my best. I'm not gonna lay down, but if I did, there's not really a good spot to do it, as you can tell, because my decor screams child's playroom.
All right, well, good luck to you. Hopefully you do better than I believe you seem to think that you will, but yeah. We'll bring in your opponent now for this evening, one Jake Maringoni. Jake, it's been a while since we've seen you in Melee. How you feel making your return to singles?
Yeah, it has been a very long time. I mean, my last match was against David in 2021, and I was like, you know what? Feel like I've done as good as I possibly can in singles. I'm just gonna leave. And then teams, I sort of came back because I really wanted to play with Mark, and the Gauntlet singles from last year made me sort of go, yeah, I think I could come back and do singles. And I had sort of already really were enticed by how Multiplex and how Melee specifically was running last year. So I was like, you know what, maybe I should just come back and see how I can do. And, teams I've been very happy with, and Mark and I do well there. But to come back into singles 3.5 years later or so and have to play like Robert, like, that's not what I wanted. You're talking about karma. I don't want to play you right when I come back after a long break. So yeah, I think we're both a little bit nervous, but I'm just happy that I get to play in singles again. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself in singles, just because I feel like teams is where I really shine, and I don't want to put pressure when I don't need to. So I'm going to see how this goes. Castner's also my Churros partner, so we get to finally see how we play against each other and how we'll play in Churros. But this is all going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this.
All right. Well, good luck to you as well. We'll now head into round number 1, which will work like this. It is the whiteboard round. Each player will be asked 8 questions, 8 different categories of movie trivia, in which they will answer on their whiteboards. If any player gets all 8 questions correctly, they'll be asked a bonus question, also worth 1 point, 3 repeats, and 1 challenge to use for the entirety of the match. Any questions before we get started?
Jake, I don't know if this does anything for you, but my daughter is currently wearing Bluey pajamas as she's trying to go to sleep. So
yeah, no. Bluey's an Australian icon. I appreciate that.
I'll throw that in there.
All right. So your first question around number 1 will come in the category of comedy. What state does Peter fly to in an attempt to fulfill the title in Forgetting Sarah Marshall? It's an interesting way of wording that. I like that. Shout out writer. Unnamed anonymous writer.
The syntax of it is just incredible.
Yeah. Good shit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll start with Robert.
Those happy tissues are sad tissues. Hawaii.
And Jake?
Shout out the lovely Po'oyama, Hawaii.
Hawaii is correct. 1-1 as we get into your next question in the category of directors. Name a film directed by Mike Lee. It's a joke in the writer's room a lot. Echo. That I would love to ask a question one day that's just name a film, and then we immediately start the countdown at 3. It's my dream question. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Always a repeat.
1. Right, that is Robert's first repeat. Your question again. Name a film directed by Mike Lee. I should say your statement again. It's not really a question. More of a demand. Couldn't even throw a please in there. That's crazy. Very rude. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry. Pens down. I'll go to Jake.
Naked.
And Robert?
He's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
It's a different mic, unfortunately. Naked is correct. Other acceptable answers are Secrets and Lies, Hard Truths, Happy-Go-Lucky, Life is Sweet, Meantime, Another Year, Mr. Turner, Vera Drake, Topsy-Turvy, High Hopes, and Career Girls. And a bunch of others, I'm assuming. Anyways. So Jake takes the 2-1 lead as we get into your next question in the category of romance. Shirley MacLaine, Deborah Winger, and Jack Nicholson star in which romance film? I will say Naked, very solid movie. Not a good date night watch. Or not a good movie to watch with anyone that you're meeting for the first time. But a good film.
Quite a
David
choice.
Thewlis, amazing in it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Robert.
In terms of endearment.
And Jake?
Terms of endearment.
Terms of endearment is correct. So your next question will be in the category of recent releases. Where is Conclave set? I should say we're looking for a geographical answer, I'll say. It's a bit vaguely worded. Now I gotta critique the writer a little bit just to humble them. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Jake first, I believe.
Vatican City.
And Robert?
Vatican City.
Thank you both for making that easy. Yeah, Vatican City is correct, yes.
I almost put the Vatican, and then I was like, I'll say Vatican City.
We would have accepted either, but yeah. So your next question will be in the category of the 1990s. Who plays Ada's daughter Flora in The Piano? It's a bummer. We have the name Ada, but no lamb question. Very disappointing. Shout out to Ada if they're watching this. Was that the name of the lamb? I don't know. I think it was.
What lamb?
5, 4,
How many
3.
like a repeat?
All right, that is Robert's second repeat. Your question again. Who plays Ada's daughter Flora in The Piano? Piano, a bit of a mid instrument. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Piano's good. I just don't like piano ballads. They kind of bore me.
Understandable.
But piano mixed with other instruments, good shit. Like that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We will start with Robert.
I know who it is, but I blanked on the name.
And Jake.
Anna Paquin.
Anna freaking Paquin.
Anna Paquin is correct.
Oh my god.
So with that, Jake goes up 5-3 as we now get into your next question in the category of fantasy/sci-fi, or sci-fi/fantasy, however you prefer it. What kind of business does Michael Keaton's character own in 2019's Dumbo? Haven't seen this one, but I feel like I'd probably not like it if I had to take a wild guess based on what the Dylan likes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We will go to Jake.
An amusement park.
And Robert?
Oh, I said a circus.
Amusement park is correct. So your penultimate question will come in the category of scores and soundtracks. Who performed Theme from Shaft? Not to be confused with Shaft or Shaft. Thank you. I'll be here all night. 5, 4.
You don't get Dylan.
3, 2, 1. Pens down. We will go to Robert.
Isaac Hayes.
And Jake.
You're damn right. Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes is correct. So then your final question around number 1 will come in the category of horror. What kind of insects play prominent roles in both Them and Phase 4? Hell yeah, we got a Phase 4 reference. Let's go. I've seen 80% of it. And I was like, I'm going to come back to this. And wouldn't you know it, it got taken off the Criterion channel like the next day. I was like, shit. But that first 80% of the movie, good shit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. For suspense, I'll start with Robert.
Ants.
And for the perfect round, Jake.
Ants.
Ants is correct. So that is a perfect round 1 for Jake Maringoni. So I'll ask you a bonus question, which is the films Her Smell, 24-Hour Party People, and We Are the Best all center around what specific genre of music?
Punk.
And that is correct for the true perfect round.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
So then with that, I have the score, Jake in the lead, 9-5, coming out of round number 1. As we get into round number 2, which will work like this, it is the wheel round. Each player would get the chance to spin the wheel, which will decide what category they'll be answering questions in this round. If they don't like the category they spin the first time, they can spin the second time, but they must keep whatever it lands on then. 5 questions, each worth 2 points apiece, unless they check down a multiple choice, in which case it'll be worth 1 point. Stealing is available in this round. The categories on the wheel today are directed by M. Night Shyamalan, which I believe is Jake's strength, Rocky franchise, which is Robert's strength, as well as the general categories of comic book movies, romance, 2000s, sports, Oscars, and family. So, Jake, since you are in the lead, would you like to spin first or defer?
Second, please. Defer.
All right. Then, Robert, this will be your first spin.
Cool.
And you land on Rocky franchise.
Yeah, I'll probably just take it. Not mess around.
All right. So then your first question in the category of Rocky. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Your first question. In what Rocky franchise film does a character hit another character with a chair during a match?
It's Rocky 3.
That is correct for 2 points.
On your lips.
The GOAT.
Man.
You're not Hulk Hogan, though. Your next question. In Rocky 2, what specific injury does Rocky need to get surgery on after his first fight with Apollo Creed?
I'll do multiple on that.
Your options are A, an ACL tear, B, a torn rotator cuff, C, a ruptured Achilles, or D, a detached retina.
Detached retina.
That is correct for 1 point.
Broken orbital bone. That was right.
Your third question. In Rocky 4, what song plays as Rocky's flight arrives in Russia?
Multiple.
5. Your options are A, Burning Heat, B, American Heartbeat, C, War, or D, Hearts on Fire.
I'll do the options one more time, please.
All right, that is your first repeat of the options. Is it A, Burning Heat, B, American Heartbeat, C, War, or D, Hearts on Fire?
Dylan Cody said something in that chat.
Burning Heart. Sorry, I'll repeat the options again. Is it A, Burning Heart, B, American Heartbeat, C, War, or D, Hearts on Fire?
I'll say Burning Heart.
That is correct for 1 point.
Sounded weird.
All right, we're back. Sorry, we're gonna give Robert the check down into multiple choice, one of those back because I screwed up the reading of the question. But anyways, your penultimate question in this category. In Creed, in what type of location does Donnie first meet Rocky?
The restaurant.
That is correct for 2 points.
Adrian specifically, but yeah.
Yes. And your final question in this category. In Rocky Balboa, what is the nickname of Marie's son?
Steps.
That is correct for 2 points. All right, so with that coming out of Robert's round, I now have him in the lead 13-9 as we bring back the wheel for what will be Jake's first spin. You land on the category of romance. Keep that or spin again.
I'll spin again.
The category that you will keep. You land on the category of Oscars.
All right. I'm a little shaky. We'll see.
Yeah. I believe it.
No. Did you see how I went against Sexual Chocolate? I didn't do that well in the Oscars category.
Your first question in the category of Oscars. What Oscar did Babel win?
Best original score.
That is correct for 2 points. Your second question. The only Oscar won by James Ivory was for what film?
Call Me by Your Name.
That is correct for 2 points. And the tie game. Your third question. What was the last film to receive nominations in all 4 acting categories?
American Hustle.
That is correct for 2 points. Your penultimate question. How many times has Denzel Washington been nominated for Best Supporting Actor?
Twice.
That is correct for 2 points. The films being Glory and Cry Freedom. So then your final question in this category. What film won Best Visual Effects for films released in 1984?
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
That is correct for the clean sweep of the category. So with that, I have Jake in the lead, 19-13, as we get into round number 3, which will work like this. It is the pick your poison round, so we will be going back and forth drafting categories, starting with the player in the lead. Once a category is drafted, it cannot be drafted by your opponent. Once all categories are drafted, the player behind will answer questions until they take the lead, and the players will choose which category they'd like to take for their 1, 2, 3, and 4-point question in that order. And we will go until there's a mathematical winner. The categories they can pick from today are comedy, scores and soundtracks, sports, directors, crime, Oscars, comic book movies, and sci-fi/fantasy. So we let them pick their categories right now, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. The players have selected their categories, so we'll start with Robert since he is down. So what category would you like for your 1-pointer?
Oscars.
All right. Your 1-point question in the category of Oscars. What Oscar did RRR win?
Best original song.
That is correct for 1 point.
Masterpiece of a song.
It is. It's fantastic. So now what category would you like for your 2-pointer?
I'll do crime for 2.
All right. Your question in the category of crime. Name both actors who play the title characters in 1967's Bonnie and Clyde.
Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway.
That is correct for 2 points. But we will stick with you now for your 3-pointer. What category would you like?
I'll do sports for 3.
All right. Your question in the category of sports. In what 2000 sports film will you find a team called the Richmond Oilers?
Coach Carter.
That is correct for 3 points. And the tie game. So we'll now go over to Jake. What category would you like for your 1-pointer?
Scores and soundtracks, please.
All right. Your question in scores and soundtracks. Kenny Loggins sang the title song for what 80s film?
Caddyshack.
That is incorrect. We were looking for Footloose.
That was a terrible guess by me, yes. That was horrible. I was not even thinking.
Since you have more questions, we will stick with you. What category would you like for your 2-pointer?
I will take sci-fi fantasy, please.
All right. Your question in the category of sci-fi/fantasy. Dustin Hoffman, Julia Roberts, and Bob Hoskins have roles in what fantasy film?
I prefer 2003's Peter Pan, but the answer is Hook.
That is correct for 2 points. And the lead. So here's the situation now. Robert has his 4-pointer remaining in the category of comedy, I believe. Yes. So if he hits it, he will send it back over to Jake. If he misses, Jake will be the winner. So your question in the category of comedy. In what 80s business comedy will you find a young man from Kansas climb the corporate ladder while using the alias Carlton Whitfield? Five, 4, 3.
I'll use the last repeat.
2. All right, that is your final repeat. Your question again. In what 80s business comedy will you find a young man from Kansas climb the corporate ladder while using the alias Carlton Whitfield?
I don't know. So, Jake, good game. I just happen not to get the TKO, so that's fine. Secret of My Success.
And that is correct for 4 big points.
Sweet.
What's the score?
So the score now is 23-21. So here's the situation. If Jake hits either of his 3 or his 4-point question, he will win. If not, Robert will win. So what category would you like for your 3-pointer?
Directors, please.
All right. Your 3-point question in the category of directors. Not including documentaries, what is the most recent film to be directed by Frank Oz? Five, 4.
Death at a Funeral.
And your winner, Jake Maringoni, Death at a Funeral, was correct. But great game, 24-23. We'll now get into the interviews right now, starting with our unfortunate second-place finisher, Robert Castner. Robert, you played an incredible game today. Honestly, there was some early stumbles in round 1, but even still, you only missed 3 questions total in the entire game today. So I think that this loss, I think it doesn't say anything about, I don't think you played bad at all. You played fantastic. It was just Jake was kind of on fire today. He only missed 1 question. And so there's not much you can do in that scenario. But overall, I think this is a really strong showing for you, even in a loss to start off the year. So how you feel?
Yeah, I missed 2 questions. I should have got an pack one. I knew I was it's Rogue. But for some reason, my brain is switched off. And I was like, I don't remember what her stupid name is. So I knew that one. And then, amusement park. I've seen Dumbo. So, I should have got those 2. And then that would have forced Jake to answer the 4. And then it would have been he hits it, he wins. He misses, I win. And I would have missed 1 question. So I'm a little bummed about that. But I'm not, overly bummed. I got Rocky. I've been more taking care of what Jake gave me lately. I finished Rocky 2 weeks ago. So, and in a parent's universe, 2 weeks is a millennia. So some stuff got forgotten. But yeah, I have no qualms about how I played, really. And I'm happy to get to sweep round 3. I haven't done that in a hot minute. So, I forced Jake to answer 3. I'm happy given that he only missed 1 question. And it was kind of a crazy, weird, off the cuff, I'm going to answer a question just willy-nilly. That's fine. So I'm good.
Yeah, well, your record is 10-8, still a solid record. So when you return, is there anyone in particular who you'd want to face?
I called out a person and it didn't work out for me. It ruined the end of my year. My Melee end of year last year was pretty bad. So 10-8. Trying to think. I will say, if you want to give me somebody, give me, I don't know, do Raiko, I guess. That's fine. That would be not terrible.
I agree. I think that would be a good match. Well, whoever it is, we're excited to see you come back. We'll put you backstage for now. Thank you for coming out. We'll bring in our first place finisher this evening, Jake Maringoni. Jake, you returned to singles, and you did it in pretty crazy fashion. The private chat says, you were 1 foot loose away from a perfect game. Went 9 for 9 in round 1. You went 10 for 10 in round 2. It's overall 24 points without having to answer a 4-pointer is insane. So how you feel?
Cody likes to, kind of beat me up a little bit every time I say, I'm not going to do well on this, and then I do well. I don't go into this with super, super confidence. I know how well of a player Castner is, and he played extremely well in this match. I just happened to get a perfect round, and that's what kind of sealed it. But he's such a good player, and if anything, this is not indicative of the fact that he's going to have an L on this. It doesn't mean anything really, because he's just such a good player and he did extremely well. So I feel a little bit bad in that sense, but yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. I heard Kenny Loggins and I heard 1980, and I went, well, it's obviously Caddyshack, right? Without hearing titular song. So if I actually thought about it for a little bit longer, I would have said Footloose, but that's probably a good thing. I didn't want the pressure of a perfect game, so it was good to just not have to worry about that at that point. But I think I'm just, I wanted to just play well, and I'm glad I had good luck. And, Oscars is a category I feel I could be a little 50-50 on, and it was movies that I like and movies that I love. So that was really, that was kind of helpful. But if anything, it just makes me happy that I'm teaming up with Castner and Trios, because there are some questions there, especially in round 3, that I did not know. And so I was happy to see him show that his strengths will line with my weaknesses, because I think even though there's a lot of good teams and trios, we're gonna do quite well there. So happy about this, but on to the next match.
Yeah, I mean, with how competitive and high scoring this match was, I'm now even more terrified of your trios team. I think that's going to be pretty intimidating, because I know I'm going to have to go up against you eventually. But when you do return in singles, I'm not sure what we have planned for you. But who would you like to play?
I would like to play you. You're like on the top of my list of players that I haven't played in singles. I can't really think of anyone else right at the top of my head, but you've been thinking of you, Dylan, for a while, as far as like who I'd love to play in singles. I think that'd be fun, but yeah, I would just, I'm happy just to make my way up this ladder, and we'll see where it goes and leads me down the track. But I'm just happy that I've started off this year quite well. And so, yeah, we'll see how it goes for the rest of me in this year, but thank you.
Awesome. Well, congrats on a match well played. We'll put you backstage for now. And I'll close this out. Crazy match, very high scoring. I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently, because we've had a lot of great matches to start off this season. A really impressive performance from Jake coming back to singles and getting the victory in that fashion. Really impressive stuff. But yeah, Robert, he's showing that again. Like, he's a super high level competitor in his own right. And I think if he plays like this, if he can continue to keep this up, I think he's going to get a bunch of wins this season. So I hope he keeps his head high. But thank you all for watching. This has been another episode of Movie Melee. Thank you to the writers, competitors, everyone who helps make this channel what it is. We'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
In case I don't see you.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.